Welcome to another God's Cast. It's Tuesday. God's Cast is here. You're with Justin Henry, Isaiah Clay. Week 14 is here, and man, we got some tough decisions to make. A lot of people are trying to get their team into the playoffs. We got start sits coming up. We got waivers coming up right now. Clay, bro, who are you looking at on waivers, man? Is there anybody you're just kind of looking at right now, bro? Talk to me. Week 14, because I know in at least one league, the Gods League, we're playing together in. You really
Yeah,
don't got
I'm
much to play for right now.
I'm out, bro. But you know what I mean. There's just not a lot on waivers. I mean, you really
It's
just
dry.
gotta. It's dry. I mean, when you go on there, you just really just gotta look for some upside. Look for somebody who can get a goal line touchdown, who can get
Yep.
a mercy touchdown, somebody who a tight end, a running back, a receiver, somebody who can get you that opportunity. But man, it's slim pickings right now. The trade deadline's over.
Yep.
Um, you got who you got, and you better stay and pray is what they say in poker, right?
Man, stay and pray. Well, if you're tuning in with us on YouTube and Twitch, go ahead and ask your questions. Clay and I will be on for the next 45 minutes to half an hour answering your guys' questions. If you're hanging out with us on TikTok, ask your question on there as well. We'll get to it as best as we can. Sometimes they come in a little bit hot and heavy. We're going to get right to it. One of the recommendations I want to talk about before going into fantasy playoffs, obviously it's week 14, but prepping for the playoffs, because if you have a chance to make the playoffs, you already need to be planning for week 15, week 16,
16
and week
and
17
17
right now. Like
right now.
right now is the time.
Yep.
And one of the things you're looking at is who's coming back from injury, right? So we saw Javonte Parker come back from next week. If he's floating around on your waivers, even though he has a bye next week, that might be stashable on your bench. Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, like there's players coming back who have more upside than some of those guys you've been holding on to. Allen Robinson's all year, Mike Davis, just with no upside. Clay, is there anybody you're looking at? You're like, man, I might want to stash him for the playoffs.
And you actually hit it right on the head. I picked up Devontae Parker last week and fired him up in one of my leagues, and I won. So I
Yeah,
mean, he's a solid contributor when he plays. Tua gets everybody the ball. So I really like Parker. Parker was a guy I picked up last week in multiple formats. So
yep,
if he's still floating around there, I see Westbrook, Akina. I know Titans. I know that's not a great pickup, but they're coming off a bye week, and
yep.
I know Julio's back, but AJ Brown is gone. So those targets got to go somewhere.
They
And
do.
so,
They do. And that was one of the comments Raymond on TikTok said, Julio Jones. To me, you're looking at Julio, you're like, hey, that might actually be a viable play. Whereas a couple weeks ago, I'd have been like, hell no, don't even touch Julio Jones.
yeah,
I might pick him up and stash him on the bench and see what he looks like.
I would definitely pick up Julio Jones. And I mean, as far as a dart throw, I mean, when you have a guy who can get 5 to 7 catches upside, I mean, that's what you're looking for. I mean,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of guys on the waivers that can do what Julio does. So
there's
look for
not.
him. Look for him. He's coming off IR. You know he's going to be healthy. You know he's going to be a threat with no AJ Brown and no
Yes,
Derrick
sir.
Henry.
Yes, sir. Good call on that, Raymond. Any sleepers you need this week? We're going to talk about some sleepers in just a second. Do you think DeAndre Swift will come back this week? Is he a start over Pollard? If he does, DeAndre Swift is out for 1 to 2 weeks. We don't know. DeAndre Swift probably doesn't know if he's going to come back, so just wait that out.
Yeah.
And Pollard isn't a start yet. Just because he had the touchdown, 60-yard touchdown, doesn't mean he's a start. I have Madison, Montgomery, Javonte Williams. Do I sit Aaron Jones? No, you're still playing Aaron Jones. Just sit maybe Alexander Madison's probably the guy out of Montgomery, Javonte. Depends.
Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery. Clay says
Montgomery.
Montgomery. That might be a good bench. Do I look like Freddie Gibbs? I don't even know what Freddie Gibbs look like, man. We're gonna head over to TikTok, to the Twitch and YouTube questions that are coming in. YouTube, we got one: James Conner, Terry McLaurin, or DJ Moore. I need to start two. Clay, who are you looking at out of those three options and why?
Um, roll with the hot hand, man. James Conner and God, I hate to say this, but roll with DJ Moore, man. Terry
Really?
McLaurin, yeah, Terry McLaurin to me, he's just not providing enough upside, and I don't think Heineke is forcing him enough opportunities to get him the points that you need for your teams to
Yeah.
win, right? If this is a must-win week, I say roll with DJ Moore off a bye week. Cam's been there for
Yep.
what, 3 weeks now, and they're starting to get in sync. Christian McCaffrey's not there anymore, so they're going to have to lean on some of these guys that are studs. DJ Moore is going to get his opportunity, and McLaurin's been healthy this whole time, and he really hasn't had a great week in a few weeks. I just
Right.
don't trust him to win you a week.
But to be honest, so I'm looking at James Conner. I feel like James Conner is the obvious choice. Like I feel like James Conner has to go in your lineup until we see what Chase Edmonds does when he comes back. It's a Monday night game. Like you want them, and Kyler Murray's back. Roll with James Conner in your lineup for sure. So the question is Terry McLaurin or DJ Moore. And coming off a bye, we still don't know what Cam really is. Like Cam can come in and completely tank. So for me, he had a plus matchup with Washington, then kind of got bounced around Miami. So for me, I'm looking at Terry McLaurin as like the rock solid option. If I got 8 points out of Terry McLaurin, I'd be a little bit more sure than if DJ Moore, I'm playing him. I don't know what I'm getting out of DJ Moore this week. So fantasy playoffs, week 14, your game is on the line. I'm not putting in DJ Moore as a flyer personally. Kamara and Saquon for Taylor. I still have Gibson. So Kamara and Saquon for Taylor, I feel like that's heavy, bro.
That's heavy.
That's way too heavy. And Taylor's on a bye this week, too.
Yeah, it's not optimal. Like, I guess if you knew that you were on a bye, like if this week was a bye for you and you had the depth, but I'm not giving up Kamara and Saquon that's a lot.
Yeah, that's too much, man. That's too much. Both Kamara and Saquon have the upside weekly that Taylor has. Taylor obviously is the best player in the deal. But he's got a bye this week. And, you just have to think about it. Now that's two players, Kamara and Saquon, that have 20-point potential. You're trading that away to an opponent who probably is good. So you would have Taylor, but at the end of the day, you would be losing a very good asset that in both Kamara and Saquon. Real quick. Both. Yeah, you can't do both. Madison has a tough matchup against the Steelers. Yeah, it's a tough matchup. A.J. Dillon getting the job for the rest of the season? Absolutely not. Aaron Jones will be back after the bye. And is he worth starting? Yes, you can start A.J. Dillon until we see what Aaron Jones is.
And a flex. I definitely like A.J. Dillon, especially if you don't have anybody better.
Clay says start A.J. Dillon in a flex spot at best. Been good, man. Appreciate the question. Yes, sir. Always checking on us. I like when you guys check in on us. We're on Twitch and YouTube if you guys want to hang out with us there. We're going to try to get to as many TikTok questions as we can, but we're going to answer all the Twitch and YouTube questions that come in. Do you think DJ Moore and Hubbard for Deontay is fair? Trades are still going on. DJ Moore and Hubbard for Deontay. The team that has Deontay has running back needs. All of them are injured. Would hopefully get Deontay. So basically, you're trying to get Deontay, trying to level up the receiver position, giving up two questionable-ish type players from the same team. Clay, what you think about this one?
Man, I honestly like Deontay for the better floor. You are giving a lot. If you have running backs that can sustain that deal, at this point, I think it's a little hard to replace that production, especially Hubbard and with no C-Mac. If you can sustain, I would say that's a good deal because you don't know what you're getting at a DJ Moore every week. But Deontay has a safe floor. He gets enough targets to justify that deal. If you have players on the back end that you can sustain, then I would make that deal. I would get Deontay.
It's tough, man. Yeah, it's tough to give up a player like DJ Moore who had that hot start too. But I kind of think this is overpaying for Deontay right now, but we saw what he did last week. Like when Ben is locked in and he's throwing 40 times a game, he's gonna have monster games for you down the stretch. So I'm not mad if you do this deal. It is an overpay in my opinion, though. What are your thoughts on Amir Abdullah and PPR? Leave him there. I don't trust Amir Abdullah. Clay, same boat.
Same boat. I don't.
At this point, guys,
Alexander Madison he's in Carolina now.
Yeah, he's in Carolina. I
like Hubbard.
Trouba Hubbard's the guy. But guys, if you're picking up players, like they have to be startable. Amir Abdullah right now barely starts for his own team, let alone starting in your fantasy lineup. So if you're maybe in like a 16-team league or deep or super duper deep league, yeah, maybe Amir Abdullah is an option. But he's not going to be a fantasy relevant option for you, and you don't want your fantasy playoff life depending on that. So let's get some wins. Let's get better players in there. Amir Abdullah is a huge dart throw, but he's not even the goal line back there. So he don't really have the touchdown upside you're looking for. He doesn't have the rushing upside you're looking for. You're losing upside there. Amir Abdullah is not it.
Try to find a receiver that you could probably fit into that spot that could at least get you some kind of touchdown potential, some kind of opportunities. I know that Jamison Crowder's out there. If you're starting Amir Abdullah, I'd rather throw Jamison Crowder out there and hopefully he gets some catches.
Yeah, I'm not a big Crowder fan, but I get it, though. The role's open now that Corey Davis is gone. Julio gets Dolphins championship week 2. Yeah, it's a good matchup for him. Who has the role rest of the season? We just kind of touched on this briefly. Trouba Hubbard versus Amir Abdullah, and Trouba Hubbard has the role. We're going to see a lot of what he did. He's going to have that 15-point week every week. He might have a 10-point week now and then, but you can kind of slot him in that strong RB2 conversation. Yeah. Amir Abdullah is going to be a dart throw. He'll
change of pace. He's a change of pace back.
Change of pace. You said it perfectly, bro. Change of pace back. A couple on TikTok real quick. Ertz or Goddard rest of the season? That's a tough one. I got Goddard. Who you got? But Goddard's out this week, so.
Ooh, yeah, he's on a bot. Man, if you're talking about you're trying to win this week, this is week 14, man. Just don't hey, bench Goddard and run with Ertz. I mean, you have to. I mean,
rest of the season, it's tough. It's a tough decision.
Rest of the season, I'd say Goddard, but I mean, in an opportunity where you have to win this week to get to next week, or even if you don't, Goddard's the better player.
Yep. Flex Ayuk, Mooney, or Pollard. Which one are we looking at? I think the answer is not Tony Pollard. He doesn't have a sizable role yet. I'd probably go with Brandon Ayuk over Mooney at this point, unless Debo comes back. If Debo comes back, I'll go with Mooney.
Debo's supposed to come back this week. I honestly I like Mooney if they're on the road, just because if they're throwing the ball, we know Allen Robinson's not really there. He's not there. We saw the week before he had 13 targets.
Yep.
So Mooney's getting the opportunities. So if you need a guy with some upside, I know last week was kind of a fluke, but I say run with Mooney. Ayuk, he's too much of a he's too much of a flyer.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that, man. And I think at this point you want to get wins. You got to lock in wins, man. And speaking of wins, we're trying to get wins, and I got Keenan on my team too. So Keenan, Allen, will he be back from COVID in time? We're hoping that. We can't really.
I think he will be.
We can't predict that.
We can't predict that, though. It's a COVID thing. It's a
COVID thing. So you just got to be prepared. Have an option that you can put in. Just don't get caught lacking without him. A couple questions, rapid fire from TikTok. I'm going to go through them. Jamal Williams or DJ Moore, week 14 in PPR. I'm probably going with DJ Moore over Jamal Williams for the upside. Trouba Hubbard or Jamal rest of the season. Jamal. Who's talking about Jamal?
Jamal on the Detroit Lions.
Oh, Jamal Williams. Yeah, I'd probably go with Trouba Hubbard over Jamal Williams.
Good call. Thank you.
I see that. Yeah, I go Trouba Hubbard over him. Thoughts on Swift and Madison for the week? Are they startable? They're both startable if they.
Madison is. I probably would fade Swift until I see what his shoulder looks like, because shoulders for.
You said fade Swift?
Right now, if you're talking about Madison or Swift, I would go with Madison right now, just because he's going to start. And he's going to get at least goal line. He's going to get check downs. I'd say Madison's your guy right now. If Swift comes back 100%, then yes. But it's hard with those shoulder injuries with running backs. You just don't know how they're going to come back.
That's true. Dan Campbell has that team playing to win, though, man. So for me, I'm like, if I see Swift out there and I see him playing, he's been playing with the questionable tag all year.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like you got to throw him out there. But you made a good point about shoulder injuries. It's tough. And if he gets hit the wrong way, his day is done.
Lands on his arm, lands on his shoulder.
Yeah. No, good point. Javonte Williams this week. If you have Javonte Williams, I don't see how you're benching him or even questioning benching him right now. Fire him up in all your lineups. Javonte Williams looks like the real deal. So if you have Javonte Williams, congratulations. You have an RB1 if Melvin Gordon sits out.
I would say Melvin Gordon's questionable this week. They said they should get him back in practice sometime this week.
But you know how it is, man. Once they've taken over, the baton has been passed. Javonte Williams' season is here. We might not get 30 points from him every week, but we're going to get solid touches. We know they've invested heavy in him. Rock Javonte Williams in your lineups and feel comfortable. Sure. My RBs are Dalvin Cook, Elijah Mitchell, Antonio Gibson, and James Conner. Pick 3. That's tough, man. I feel like you got really good options. I would say Dalvin's out. So
Dalvin's out. That's
so you're sitting Dalvin. You got good options though. So even when Dalvin comes back, you have really no decision to make. Like you're gonna have 3 top options at all points.
You're in a rare position.
Yeah, for real. Like especially this year with the running back position, bro. Taysom or Stafford? Looking at options here, Taysom or Stafford. I always go with the upside. I would take Taysom Hill over Stafford, but Stafford has a plus matchup against Arizona on Monday Night Football. What you think, Clay?
Yeah, I think I go Stafford. I like his touchdown potential. He likes to spread the ball, and pad Stafford. Even if they're down, he's going to throw the ball.
Pad Stafford. All right. So HTL Outcast was good, man. On Twitch, he's asking. So I have Elijah Moore, DJ Moore, Metcalf. Oh, by the way, if you're on TikTok, you want to hang out with us, full conversation with me and Clay. We're both on Twitch and YouTube at Fantasy Gods. Hang out with us there. If you're here, I'll get to the questions as quick as I can, but we're trying to get through these Twitch and YouTube questions first, man. Hang out with us both. So I have Elijah Moore, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, and Hopkins. Which 2 should I start, or 3 over Elijah Mitchell in the flex? And this is tough, man. This is tough because you got a couple upside options. You got some rock solid options there. I think for sure you got to start Elijah Moore the way he's playing right now. He's a certified start. You do not bench Elijah Moore. He can get loose with any quarterback that's out there. And I'm probably fading DJ Moore in this situation because you got DK Metcalf and DeAndre Hopkins. To be honest, I'm probably going with the most risky option out of those two. And I'm starting DK Metcalf in this situation. It's not that I trust him. It's just for the fact that I think he has to bounce back at some point. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be going up against Jalen Ramsey for a lot of the game. Give me DK Metcalf and Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I like that. I go Elijah Moore 100%. I'm with you there, but I'm going Hopkins, man.
Yeah.
I think I just think, man, Kyler makes a point to get him the ball, like especially in the red zone. Like we saw last week, he only threw 15 passes, and 2 of them were to D-Hop, and 1 of them was in the end zone. So
facts
in a bad week.
Good point. JaMychal Hasty, is he a good pickup with Mitchell and Wilson dealing with injuries? Absolutely not. I'm not starting. Like we talked about just a few minutes ago, if you're not starting these guys, you're not going to put these guys in your fantasy lineups for your fantasy life. I'm not starting JaMychal Hasty. Elijah Moore should be fine. Even if they're banged up, you're not expecting him to take the workload. I think that's just a desperation pull in such a tough week, man. This is a tough week, especially at the running back positions. We're looking at like AP. Should I pick up AP? Should we pick up Hillard? Like some of these running back options it's tough, man.
And Harris got hurt this week. We saw him come out with a bad hamstring. So the Stevenson question right now is very relevant.
It is. Dante Foreman or Stevenson for the rest of the year. And to me, Stevenson has a lot of upside PPR, but it's tough to trust pass running backs, man. It really is. I just like him a little bit more than I like Foreman. This is the lesser of 2 options. Give me Stevenson the rest of the way.
Agreed, 100%.
All right, let's see. Are my wide receivers good enough for playoffs? Diggs, Keenan, and CD. Come on, dog. I think you already know the answer to that.
You already know. You need validation. We got you.
Validation is key. Hey, if you're hanging out with us, appreciate you guys tuning in. We're here every Sunday and Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights, we do God's Cast, things like this for free agents pickups. Make sure you guys follow along. But then on Sundays, we do start and sit too. Morning. So if you guys have questions heading in there, we talk about injuries, key things to note, including weather. So one of the questions coming in from Twitch right now from X Vicious is picking up Chargers defense, Higgins and Conklin and Taysom Hill from waivers. What do you think dropping Logan Thomas, Landry, and Tyler Bass? I think that's rock solid, bro.
Drop them. That's easy.
Another validation. D-Hop, Judy, or Renfro. Is this rest of the season or this week? I think the question, if it's this week, I go Renfro, rest of the season, D-Hop. What you think, Clay?
I was going to say the complete opposite. I was going to say D-Hop for the week and Renfro for the rest of the season. The guy's been getting crazy catches, crazy targets, crazy yards. And if we don't know if Waller's going to come back, and we know Moreau's not the guy, so who's going to absorb all that? Renfro's been getting crazy work.
Yeah, that's why I like him this week. But I see your point, man. I'm going to go through some TikTok real quick before I get back to these YouTube and Twitch questions. Who should I start, Russell Gage or Sterling Stepper? You're going with Russell Gage. Phenomenal the last 2 weeks. I think that's a good play. Dontrell, Hillard, or James Robinson. Stick with James Robinson. He had a little bit to say on Twitter this week, so get him in your lineups. I think he'll be back after the injury.
I think he had a fumble. They didn't like that, and Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he was coming in banged up too.
Urban
Meyer, bro. That whole situation.
Dude. And then he's running Hyde. Like, all right.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde still a factor in 2021. Start Mike Evans or Elijah Moore. Question I wouldn't have even thought about weeks ago is now relevant.
It's tough.
To be honest, I'm going with my guy. I'm sticking with Mike Evans. But if you start Elijah Moore, I would not be mad at you. I think Evans has the better quarterback. Very similar situation where he has a high floor, high ceiling. Go with Mike Evans on that one.
Yeah, I definitely like Mike Evans there too.
Clay's agreeing with Mike Evans. Waddle's out for the bye. Should I start Russell Gage or Sterling Shepard? Clay, what you think on that one?
Gage, baby.
Gage all day.
I'm not going to trust this guy who's been hurt for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
Straight up.
It's tough, man. Should I get Trouba Hubbard on waivers? So Trouba Hubbard obviously is a question mark right now for a lot of fantasy managers. Trouba Hubbard and then Amir Abdullah. Clay and I both are saying fade Amir Abdullah, get Trouba Hubbard. He's going to get the work that you want.
Trouba's going to get it, bro, regardless.
Yes, sir. Question for you, Clay, because you mentioned you name-dropped Jamison Crowder a little bit earlier in the show, and obviously Julio and A-Rob are 2 way bigger names than Jamison Crowder as far as talent. Are you dropping Crowder for either of these guys? You keeping Crowder? What's your thoughts overall? Because I know my answer on this one.
I would drop Crowder for Julio, but not A-Rob. And
I'm with
that's Julio, he's just done too much in the game for me. Like he's got a soft spot in my heart. But to be honest, right now, Crowder's floor is just so low.
Yeah.
So, but he's healthy. So if Julio comes back, when he comes back, he has the upside. But to me, I would take the upside in Julio if he's healthy. If they start him, I would take that. But A-Rob, I'm just not risking my season. Like, even when he was healthy, his best week was like 12 points. So, I mean, Crowder's done that.
That's facts. I agree with you on Julio, not A-Rob, just for the upside, man. If you guys are tapped in with this and you're not following along on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Helps us grow, helps us get you guys more info, win you guys some leagues, win you guys some money. Darnell Mooney or Gallop. Give me Darnell Mooney in this one. Give me the one who is the secure option there. Gallop is nice though, man. He'll have weeks where he pops.
Nice. I like Gallop.
I feel like there's a risk for that 7-8 point week with him every week. If he doesn't get the touchdown, what is he?
I think. Let me see. Who do the Bears play this week? They play Green Bay at Sunday night. Sunday night game. That might be. They have a man
in Green Bay.
Yeah, that might be money.
Divisional game too. So
Mooney.
I kind of like that one, man.
I like Mooney.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. Shouldn't have benched Mike Williams, man. You doubted me.
We said it too. Me and Dan were on here. We said it. We said run Mike Williams.
We were talking about Mike Williams. You guys did, man. You guys
said the upside
on Sunday mornings. You guys need to tap in, man.
Yes,
Just saying, y'all are awesome. Slade, hold on a second. Just saying, y'all are awesome. I won my game. I'm 2-11. This is the guy you guys were talking about. This is the guy you were talking about. He said, I won. He says, I'm going to read this fully. He says, I won my game. I'm 2-11 now. Last week from being 1-11 and knocked someone out the playoffs. And if I win this week, I can knock out another. Hey.
Yo, that's what I love it. Those are fantasy wins. Like, even though you're not in, you're taking somebody else's future. Like, F them. Like,
you love to hear it. You love to hear it, bro. Good shit, Slade.
Tap in on Sunday, bro. Tap in on Sunday.
Make sure y'all there Sunday, man. Connor or Melvin Gordon, do you think Connor will regress a significant amount with Edmonds coming out? And no, I'll answer this one because I was a big Chase Edmonds advocate. I think it's going to take him a couple games. You see what's going on with Saquon Barkley. That high ankle sprain is nothing to deal with, man. And even coming back after 3 weeks, he might be on the field, but he's not going to be Chase Edmonds until he plays a game or two. So I think they're going to run Connor where it was Connor was the 1B and Edmonds was the 1A. That has been flipped now. Connor is the 1A. Chase Edmonds is the 1B, or even maybe just the running back 2 for right now. He has to earn it back for sure.
Agreed. I do like Melvin Gordon, though, but I think Connor's your guy.
Yeah, Connor's the guy, in my opinion, as well. Mike Evans or Russell Gage. Go with Mike Evans in that one. Do you think Derrick Henry will be back for the fantasy championships? Unfortunately, Steph, I don't think he will. Everything says that he's either trying to make a playoffs or he's going to sit out the rest of the time. So I do not see Derrick Henry being a factor. And even if he comes back, say it's week 17 in your championship, are you going to throw him in your lineup? That's a tough, I take a lot of risk, but for me, I'm leaving him out of my lineup. Start KJ Osborne or Tyler Boyd. Go with KJ Osborne, who I want to talk about. KJ Osborne has to be on your radar as far as fantasy pickups because, yes, Adam Thielen is out. They need a wide receiver too. Kirk Cousins loves to throw the football. If you have not added KJ Osborne to your pickup list, you need to do so. Also, a very underrated player to keep in mind at the tight end position is Tyler Conklin. Make sure those guys are not floating around on your waivers if you're desperate in need of a play this week. Both of the guys that I just mentioned, KJ Osborne and Tyler Conklin, can help you out.
Yeah, Tyler Conklin was getting work last week as soon as Thielen went out. So tight ends, if you're tight end thin, which a lot of people are this season, you gotta look to him. You gotta look to KJ Osborne. Those are 2 great pickups this week.
Absolutely. All right. X Vicious is asking, should I be concerned with Kyle Pitts or should I start Conklin this week? Vikings are playing without the number 1 red zone target, and that's Adam Thielen, of course, because he's out. Obviously, Adam Thielen's out with the ankle sprain. So that leaves us the question, a very valid question. Are you starting Tyler Conklin over Kyle Pitts? Clay, what's your thoughts on that one, man?
Man, that is a tough one. I mean, Kyle Pitts has been up and down all year. He hasn't been great. Man, it depends on your risk tolerance. I mean, I think Tyler Conklin has more upside, but Kyle Pitts is pretty steady, and he has to get the opportunities. But I think I would go Conklin in this matchup against Detroit.
I feel like Conklin is the safe play. Like, he's stepping into Adam Thielen's role. But I also think Kyle Pitts is just more part of the offense. Like, when you look at the offense, I could see them going to Madison. I could see them going to Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne getting in there. For Atlanta, it's Cordero Patterson and Kyle Pitts. That's it. That's really who the offense goes through. So for me, I think you got to be concerned with Kyle Pitts, but at the same time, you're not. Give me more of Conklin. Let Conklin show that he's what he was last week before you put your fantasy life on it. I would put my fantasy life on Kyle Pitts before I put it on Tyler Conklin, even though I think it's a good play.
That's true. Actually, I'm sorry. I meant to say they were playing Pittsburgh. Excuse me.
Well, it's all good.
Yeah,
all good.
Right.
Is McKissick worth keeping a roster spot? I don't personally think so. I think that you could find a better option with more upside right now than J.D. McKissick.
Yeah, he's hurt.
First round bye in my 11-2 league. Hey, you love to see it. You love to see it. Y'all are awesome. And I shot a message on TikTok to y'all last stream. Okay, we'll go check it out. Hopefully somebody will get to it. One of us will. I'll make sure we all at least get to that.
Yeah, we'll check to it. Thanks. Thank you.
Yes,
for
sir.
Heads up.
Yes, sir. Taysom Hill versus the Jets or Kyler Murray versus the Rams this week. Rock with Kyler Murray. You go with your studs, man. Go with your studs. Taysom Hill has a hand injury.
Yeah, rock Kyler, man. He balled out last week in the snow or in the really, really cold weather in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live. Just for you guys to know, we are live on Twitch, YouTube. If you guys head over there, make sure you guys follow, subscribe, so that way you can tune in with us, the God's Cast, every Tuesday. Sunday mornings, we do Start Sit, help you guys win your leagues, win some money. I'm going to answer some TikTok real quick. Need a running back play. Edmonds, Abdullah, Matt Breida, or Burkhead. Yikes. Those are some ugly options. If you're looking season long, give me Chase Edmonds. For this week only, bro, it's rough.
Did he say Madison? Rough. Did he say Madison?
No, he said Chase Edmonds, Amir Abdullah, Matt Breida, or Rex Burkhead. Like all
Burkhead,
those options.
I guess.
Hell no, I'm not throwing Burkhead in my lineup. I don't care what kind of touches Burkhead has. I'm not touching Burkhead in my fucking lineup, bro. There's no way. I'm not putting Burkhead in to get 6 points, dog. Like, it just can't happen. Give me some more upside. Matt Breida, to me, is more of a play, even with Zach Moss coming back into the fold. Amir Abdullah is more of a play.
Singletary. I hate running backs on the Bills. They don't get any kind of work.
I'm not touching Rex Burkhead, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm touching Rex Burkhead.
Fair enough. It's a no-win situation.
No-win situation. It's really bad right now when it comes to running backs on waivers. Let's see. CH or Jamal Williams. Got to get to this one real quick on Twitch.
Man, I'm gonna go CH, man. Close
CH,
my eyes.
yeah. I'll rock with the better offense.
CH.
Taysom Hill or Lamar, same thing. Lamar. Rock with Lamar, man.
Easy Lamar. Don't even think about it.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Definitely found a go-to source for fantasy advice for the future. Yes, and if you're not following us on all fantasy platforms, you're doing yourself a disservice. We get you guys the info you need, updates you need to win your matchups on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. We're all here, man. Dang, man. Do you think A.J. Brown will be back for the playoffs? And this is a predicament that I actually have right now. I have A.J. Brown on the bench in a league that has really thin benches. And I'm keeping him. Even though he's not back till week 16, week 17. He's the kind of player you don't want to leave on waivers if he comes back. Like, he's scheduled to come back week 16. Derrick Henry is out for the foreseeable future. That's the difference in these two. I got AJ Green. I'm not very confident, but he's not the player that I want to leave on waivers and have to play against in week 16 and 17.
Absolutely. You hold AJ Brown and hope for the best. If he starts, fire him up.
Slade, send us a new message, man. Or try us on Twitter. Send us a message on Twitter. The Fantasy Gods on Twitter. We're The Fantasy Gods on Twitter. Send us a message on there. Dawson Knox or Kyle Pitts? Who you rocking with?
Kyle Pitts.
I think that's the easy answer, man. Kyle Pitts. Dawson Knox has the touchdown upside you want, but Kyle Pitts is just more of a focal point in the offense. Dawson Knox and Tyler Conklin are on the same level to me.
Agreed.
Who are you talking about not leaving on waivers? That was A.J. Brown that I was talking about, not leaving on waivers. You don't want to leave a guy like that on waivers.
Nope.
And then also KJ Osborne, too. So we're talking about KJ Osborne, Tyler Conklin. Yes, sir. Those were good options that you don't want to make sure. You want to make sure KJ Osborne is not floating around on waivers.
Even if you don't use him.
Even if you don't use him, yes. That's the kind of player that can help lineups here in the near future with playoffs coming. Would you start Mixon for Week 14 against the Niners? Absolutely. If he plays, you start him. No question.
Don't think about guys who have been wrecking shot for you all year. Like
Facts.
Mixon, these are no brainers. Like, just run those players and don't think. If you lose with your studs, then you lost, bro. Like, yep. I mean, it was just meant to be. You can't be mad when these guys don't do what they're supposed to do.
We are not perfect. The fantasy players are not perfect. There's no fantasy analyst out there, no NFL player that is perfect. So when it comes to these lineups, you guys got to just play your best lineup and give yourself the best chance to win. If you're wrong, you're wrong. At the worst case scenario, you don't beat yourself up.
Nobody in the world would have told you to bench Tyreek Hill for Russell Gage last week. No analyst on earth would have told you to do
Right.
that, but it was the right play. But
Right.
nobody would have told you to
Hey,
do that.
Tony Pollard scored more points than C Mac this week in fantasy. We can predict that week one.
Who can
So
predict that?
don't trip off of that, man. Not many useful, good running backs left in my league. Devontae Freeman, is he a good pickup, or is Kenneth Gainwell going to be the RB1 for the Eagles this week? So the Eagles have a bye this week. So that's a player right there we're already kind of fading because they have a bye this week. B, go get Devontae Freeman. That is a very good pickup in a thin running back slot right now.
Absolutely. He's getting check down work too.
Start Jonathan Taylor this week. I might start Jonathan Taylor on a bye week. I feel that confident he would score on a bye week. Jonathan Taylor has a bye this week, so you're not starting him. But I feel that good about him. That dude scores every time, every week, bro. It's just crazy to me, man. It's crazy, bro.
That's funny. Hey, that's good jokes.
Yes, sir. All right. Start 2 PPR. Aaron Jones, Zeke, Clyde, and A.J. Dillon. Who you rocking with?
Jones and Clyde, man.
Jones and Clyde. I think I'm going with Jones and Zeke, man. I think there's too much fading going on with Zeke. Yeah, it's too much panic. Everybody saw the 60-yard TD from Pollard and decided to flip out.
I'm not worried about Pollard. I'm just worried about the opportunities Zeke is getting, and I don't know if he's 100% healthy. That's the only thing that I see because he doesn't look 100%. That's the only reason.
I am not fading Zeke right now just yet.
All right.
And this is the question. So maybe you can give your kind of perspective on that, follow up a little bit to that thought, Clay, because the next question is, what do I do with Ezekiel Elliott if I have Pollard? Like, that's a legit question. And to me, like,
you know what I've seen? Obvious. You know what I've seen in a lot of leagues, and I wouldn't do this, but a lot of people have been starting both. Starting both so they get the guaranteed backfield work. To me, if I had them both, I would just run Zeke. Pollard has had a lot of, in the last 2 weeks, he's had one big play that solidified his whole day. He had a 100-yard touchdown return, which is rare, and he had a 59-yard touchdown rush, which again is rare. So to me,
you can't hate on it because it's part of the fantasy production. It's just you can't really expect that every week. Like, he's solid. We know what Tony Pollard is, and the explosiveness is there. But you can't necessarily count on that every week because if he gets 8 to 10 touches, which is about his range right now, if one of those doesn't pop, you're looking at like a 4-point day.
Maybe, if that. And so he doesn't really get check down work too much. Like, he'll get sometimes, but he doesn't go into the game to get checked down. So I would just run with Elliott. And then if you have somebody else with better upside, I would run them. But if you need to run both, I've been in leagues where people have ran both Elliott and Pollard, and it's worked out for them.
Yeah, I don't got the balls to run both, man. But Zeke for sure is in the lineups. He gets the red zone work. That's what you want to see. Red zone and passing game work. Justin Jefferson, the top 3 receiver in the NFL.
Is it Dan?
That's not our Dan. Not our Dan. But Dan would be saying the same shit, man.
He would say the same thing.
In my 2-11 league, do I get Gainwell for flex over Claypool and keep Jamal for D. Harris on a bye and keep Gibson? I'm a little confused on that one, but I'm assuming you're looking at picking up Gainwell. I am not chasing Kenny Gainwell, especially with him being on a bye this week, and you're 2-11, so you won't be in the fantasy playoffs. Skip Gainwell, bro.
Just
skip Gainwell this week.
Get Claypool, keep Jamal, and keep Gibson. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't get too complicated. Just run your best lineup, man.
We answered this one a little bit earlier. Kyle Pitts and Dawson Knox. We were rocking with Kyle Pitts on that one. Both of us said Pitts. And then assuming I start Zeke and Jones at the running back position, start 3, Clyde, Mooney, Higgins, and Lockett. I am benching Clyde out of Mooney, Higgins, and Lockett.
Wow. I was going to think to start him, but that is a bold prediction. It depends on Higgins. He was questionable in my lineup. So
yeah, if Higgins is a player, right.
Yeah, I like Higgins, though, Lockett for sure, those two for sure. And I guess it's a toss-up between Mooney and Clyde. I would say for upside, you go Mooney, and for like a higher floor, you go Clyde.
Okay, I like that. A couple TikTok questions I'm going to roll through really quickly. Do you start Joe Burrow if he plays? His pinky kind of concerns me, man. Having that injury on your throwing hand does kind of concern me, but I am starting Burrow if I don't have any better options. Like Superflex, I think you have to start him. If there's somebody floating out on waivers in your standard league, go ahead and pick him up. Start Barkley with Jake Fromm at QB. Yep, because he's going to get the check down work just like we saw last week. 6 catches for Saquon Barkley, and he'll have a big play. Or go with Cordero Patterson. Actually, I don't mind if you go with Cordero Patterson there over Saquon Barkley.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Why?
for this week, just for this week, because Cordell Patterson is the same. He has the same upside this year. Like I think earlier in the year, we would have been saying, "Oh no, you have to start Saquon Barkley." But Cordell Patterson has a weekly 25-point upside, which is what you want out of a guy like Saquon Barkley. Your Cordell Patterson's, your JT. You're starting them for the upside, and it's not like Cordell Patterson's floor is super low. He gets the passing game work. He's going to get the guaranteed manufactured touches. Right now, we haven't necessarily seen the yardage you want to see out of Saquon. So for me, I'm a very big Saquon advocate, but it's because of the upside that he brings. He brings a 25-point upside. You're getting the same shit with Cordell Patterson. So for me, I'll get the player who's playing a little bit at a higher level right now and wait on Saquon if I have that luxury.
Fair
Personally.
enough. I like that.
Yes, sir. Rashod hurt me last week. I thought he'd get 10. Yeah, we got a couple Rashod Bateman questions. Is he drop worthy?
Man, I was high on Rashod Bateman in the middle of this year and even going into the Monday night game. And it just, I feel like he let me down. I feel like he's drop worthy. I really do. I feel like he's drop worthy at this point. If there's somebody else out there, if you want to hold him, wait on him. If there's not anybody else better out there, I would say keep him. I've dropped him in some of my leagues. So whatever you want to do.
Doug, there's no trade value anymore. So you're holding players and you're hoping for like this magic thing to happen. Cortland Sutton, Rashod Bateman, you're not keeping these guys on your roster. What's the point? You have to at least wait week 14 to see if they can bounce back. And then are you putting them in your lineup week 15? Are you going to put them in your lineup week 15? No. So you're waiting for 16 and 17 on players, Rashod Bateman and Cortland Sutton, who are on run-centric offenses that don't have good quarterbacks to get them the ball. Lamar's a good quarterback, but that aren't consistent enough to get them wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 type numbers. No, you're not putting in Rashod Bateman. You're not putting in Cortland Sutton. Get rid of them, man. Get better options with higher upside. Go get a KJ Osborne. Go get a Julio Jones. Go get somebody that just has a little bit higher ceiling right now than Rashod Bateman and Cortland Sutton, who you're guaranteed not starting this week. And you're probably not going to start this week. Amon St. Brown. Go get him, man. Just a little bit more upside is what you want out of these guys, not Rashod Bateman and Cortland Sutton. They can go on waivers.
Rashod Bateman is a good dynasty hold, but in terms of this, we're doing redrafts. It would have been a good time to drop Rashod Bateman about 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Do you think the Cardinals will beat the Rams? I think the Cardinals beat the Rams 100%. They're a better team than the Rams, and I think the Rams are a paper team. I think the Cardinals are going to beat
them. Division games are always tough, man. And sometimes, even though it's on paper, you look at it, you're like, oh, they should win. Sometimes those teams that you don't think win pull it out. I do like the Cardinals more this week. I think they'll pull it out, but 100%, I can't get there. I think it's going to be a closer game than you think.
Okay. I don't doubt it's a closer game, but give me the Cardinals at home on Monday Night Football. I'm taking Cardinals, man.
For sure.
James Conner, Elijah Moore, the flex. Who you rocking with?
I'm going to go with James Conner, man. I'm just going to go with the hot hand with the guaranteed touches.
I like
James Conner.
I like James Conner. I think the floor is there with Conner, but I like, Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore is nice, bro. How can you get them both in? How can you get them both in?
Get them both in if you can. Good point. Good point. Here we go. Dude, I'm a Vikings fan. Don't think I'll ever feel happiness again.
Oh, that Lions.
Man. Teams need to win
division loss.
Bro. Let's see. All right, we got a few things coming up. I want to go somewhat rapid fire. Sorry if I cut you off, Clay, but I'm about to go a little bit rapid fire right here.
Do it.
Darrell Henderson or Leonard Fournette. Obviously, I think you're putting Leonard Fournette in right now. It's not even a question. We got to see Darrell Henderson healthy. Gesicki, Gaskin, Tony, and Mark Ingram. I think they're all on bye.
No.
That's a bunch of dropped options right there.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I think he was mentioning some players maybe you can drop. He said you are what you are at this point in fantasy. I 100% agree with that. Get your upside on your bench. You already have your starters locked in. There's no more bye weeks. Except for this week. But I 100% Ebog. Good point, man. That's a very good point. You are what you are. What are we thinking about Amari Cooper from here on out? I think you got what Clay and I have had this discussion a few times already. You're getting what you get with Amari Cooper, back in to mid wide receiver 2. He'll have some weeks where he does you really good. He'll score you 30 points. He's going to have some other options, man. But I'm not feeling too
healthy.
He's
not healthy, and to be honest, he's in the game as a safety blanket in deep desperation situations. We saw the Cowboys had a 3rd and long last week, and he came in and got a 41-yard catch, right? And then they kind of just faded him for a while. Like, he's not 100%. He's still coming off the COVID list. I think he still has a hamstring issue. They don't want to talk about that, but Amari Cooper is probably not somebody you want to use as your number one, or even your number 2. He's just, I don't think the upside's there. I think he's still hurt until we see something different out of him.
You got to
I don't.
start him though. It sucks. You got to
I
start
mean,
him.
if you have him, you have to start him. But it's just tough, just in terms of like what he's going to produce.
Facts. Real quick, a couple more teams need to get in right now. Regular season. I talked to you about depth a couple weeks ago. Hopefully it helped, man. Hopefully the information helped. Should I drop Jerry Judy? I think he's a little bit better to me than that Cortland Sutton situation because he has a little bit of upside, but I mean it's kind of the same thing with him. I'm not necessarily dropping Jerry Judy because I think he's more talented. He's the most talented wide receiver they have there. But Jerry Judy to me is kind of in that same boat, man. It's tough to start right now.
It's bad when you have a bad quarterback and the ball doesn't get thrown enough. You know what I mean? Like in those situations, Teddy Bridgewater's just not a guy that's going to get enough targets to enough players to make it valuable.
I got Carr and Cam Newton at QB. Can I just get rid of Cam? I would keep Cam for the upside. I wouldn't just get rid of Cam. Gallop or Mooney? We answered this one a little bit earlier. I think I would go with Mooney. Clay,
Mooney.
You said Mooney too, right?
I think Mooney. Yeah.
Should I
just
sit
because
Jamar?
He's the number one.
Should I sit Jamar Chase this week? You're absolutely not sitting Jamar Chase. Keep him in. Just know that he's not a wide receiver one. Just tear him down a little bit with your expectations. You're probably like, man, I'm super frustrated. He dropped that touchdown catch. Like, just tear him down a little bit. He's not a high-end wide receiver one. He's a back-end wide receiver one, probably more of a mid wide receiver two. Just temper your expectations when it comes to him, and you won't be so upset.
Absolutely.
Would Russell Gage be a good replacement if T. Higgins is rolled out, Clay? What do you think? You think Russell Gage, or should he pick up Christian Kirk from the Cardinals or Osborne from the Vikings?
Osborne might be a good choice too. I would say your choices right now are between Russell Gage and Osborne. With Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins is back, so that's going to definitely cut into his target share. So if T. Higgins is ruled out, I'm towards Russell Gage or Osborne. Probably not Osborne in a Thursday night game. I like Russell Gage in this situation a little bit better.
I ain't mad if you start Russell Gage or Osborne. To me, Osborne has a lot more upside to me than Russell Gage, but Russell Gage he's kind of carved out a role these last 2 weeks, so I ain't mad if you start him either. Favorite position to play in football when you're running it up with your friends, man? I got to get out there and play some tight end, bro.
Tight end. You're tight end, right?
End, baby. You already know me. Tight end, 6'4",
right in the middle. That's where
tight
it
end
is.
Too? Yes, sir.
No, I'm defense. I'm crazy.
DN? Would you play in DN?
I just no. I got to do corner, even though I'm not fast anymore. I'm not fast anymore, but
got the hype, the hops though.
That's what I'm saying. I tried to show y'all. I put it on video. I put it on wax. I still got backboard.
Yo, I ain't mad at that, bro. What do you think about Connor? We talked a little bit about this. Go ahead and start James Conner until Chase Edmonds carves his roll back out. James Conner is probably the 1A until Chase Edmonds is fully healthy. On here, we got a couple questions. Lost Thielen. Who should I replace him with? Landry, MVS, or Braylon Edwards? Wow. Brian Edwards. I think I like MVS. I think I like MVS out of all of those guys.
If he one big play solidifies his whole day.
He's good, man. What's up? Crazy, I ran into you on TikTok. I'm Bobby's dad. Tyson and Bobby went to, oh, shit, what's going on, man? What's happening? Yes, sir. Doing the fantasy stuff, man. Kid that went to my son's school. It's crazy how TikTok works, man. Run into everybody, man. Shout out to you, bro. How's the Twitch, Justin? Hey, we rocking right now. Thanks for the love for asking. Do I start Lamar Stafford this week? Lamar plays Browns. Stafford plays the Cardinals.
Let's always play Lamar.
Yeah, let's rock with Lamar, bro. You rocking with Lamar. What's good, coach? Yes, sir. We out here. All right, next one up. Elijah Moore or Javonte in the flex. Madison and Najee are the running backs. The Lamb and Deontay are the wide receivers. I think that's a hard one, man, because both of those guys have really high upside. Clay, you rocking with Javonte or Elijah Moore in the flex?
Man, I'm going to go with Moore. I just like the upside. I like that he plays. They run him out of the backfield. He's a touchdown threat, and he'll get those catches, man. And you got to think the Jets are usually down, right? So what do? Throw.
Yep.
I like Elijah Moore.
I like Elijah Moore too, but I'm giving Javonte, man. Until I see something with Melvin Gordon that says that they're gonna take away touches from Javonte Williams, give me Javonte Williams, man. Love the way he looked, and it looks like he's gonna be a threat down the rest of the season, man.
He runs hard. He's a beast, bro. Like I like him a lot.
Yes, sir. Don't know if anyone asked yet, but who do I start out of Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones? Well, we're not starting Dalvin Cook. Yeah, Aaron Jones. It's not even a question this week. Henderson might sit out this week as well. Hold on to Sony Michel. Good point.
Absolutely. Hold on to him.
Yes, sir. So Rashod Bateman or Amon St. Brown or Amon Ross St. Brown. We talked a little bit about this. Rashod Bateman is not a player right now. I don't think you could comfortably put him in your lineup as much as we love him.
Redrafts, not for
especially
redrafts.
Like he's going to be a stud at some point, but for right now, you're rocking with St. Brown this week.
Easy.
Hello, if you need real, I don't even know what that is. Which defense should I pick up? We don't talk a lot about defenses on here. Should I pick up Seattle versus Houston, Green Bay versus Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Titans versus Jacksonville? I'm probably rocking with Green Bay and not feeling good about it.
Man, I actually like this Denver matchup, man. This is out of division, out of conference. They're at home against a Detroit team that's coming off a high. So
I hate playing teams that don't quit though. Detroit don't quit, bro.
And they don't quit, but man, their upside to score is very, very low. So for me, I'm going to run with the team that has the less upside to scoring.
Facts. And if you're hanging out with us on TikTok, make sure you come over to the Twitch, to the YouTube, hang out with us there. Make sure you follow along. We are on every Sunday morning to help you guys do start sit stuff. And on Tuesdays as well, we do the God's Cast, helping you guys with free agents that you can pick up, start sit advice, whatever you guys need, man. A couple more questions, and then Clay and I are about to get off, man. Should I trade Saquon for D-Hop? And that trade deadline, if it's still looming, bro, that's tough, man.
I don't know. It depends on your running backs, right? It depends on your running backs. Where are you at? And if you have the running backs to support it, I would say for sure. But I think there's the running back situation is a lot more shallow than the receiver.
Yes.
So for me, if I have a Saquon, I'm probably holding him unless my receivers are just bad.
Good call. Yeah. And I think you're holding any running backs that are healthy right now. We talked about how dire the running back situation is right now, bro. You're keeping any running backs you can.
Especially ones with like Saquon with the upside.
Yeah. It says Zeke or Pollard. Zeke doesn't look the same. Don't buy into the Zeke narrative, man. Play Zeke. He's going to be a threat in the red zone. He might have been banged up, but they had 10 days off. Obviously, they played the back-to-back Thursday game. So, don't worry too much about the Pollard. Pollard had that one nice run, and he looks electric. He had the kick return the week before that. But rock with Zeke and feel good about it. Keenan Allen out with COVID. Pittman on a bye. I got Deontay Johnson and Brandon Cooks is unreliable. Should I put Russell Gage and KJ Osborne? And it all depends on if Keenan Allen plays. He has enough time to make the roster that week and to actually get activated. So don't panic on it too much. But yes, Russell Gage and KJ Osborne, as we talked about all episode, are both very viable options. And if they're on free agents right now, make sure you guys put your claim in and go get them.
Absolutely.
Is JaMychal Hasty a good pickup with Wilson? No, we answered this one already. We're not touching JaMychal Hasty. Just came over from TikTok. Shout out to anybody that comes over from TikTok to the YouTube
Razor
and Twitch.
Lasers.
That's love. Razor Lasers. Appreciate you, bro. Talked to you about 2 weeks ago to add depth. Got rid of Gaskin, Kasecki, Tony, and Ingram. Okay, here it is. For Saquon, Andrews, and Henderson to teams that we need to win now. Yes, sir. Those are the kind of moves you love to see it.
That's a win, bro. That is a win, especially going into the playoffs.
Dog, there's one thing, and I want to just put this out there. I know this ain't fantasy advice or whatever, but there's one thing, bro, is I think we try to give out some real advice. People may see this as a humor page sometimes, but you're talking with 3 guys who have a ton of fantasy experience. So when you're talking with us, you're not just getting some random dudes on TikTok who don't really know what they're talking about or just say stuff to get views. You're going to get some actual insight from us, talking about weather in playoffs, talking about players consolidating. These are championship moves to help you guys win money. So if you guys are hanging out with us, make sure you guys follow. If you're not following, you're giving somebody else the advantage because they're going to be following us here pretty soon. So great that you said that, Razor Lasers. We rocking with you, man. We hoping you win. Am I dropping Ridley, Brown, and Carter?
You should have dropped Ridley. You should have dropped Ridley 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, Ridley, unfortunately, man, it's one of those guys. If somebody else adds him, you're good. But I don't think he's playing again this year.
He's not playing this year.
Carter, who's Brown? You talking about AJ Brown? We talked about AJ Brown too. Hold him. I say hold him. Clay says fold him. It's really your call at the end of the day, how much you need the bench space. And then Michael Carter, I think he's benchable right now. I'm not sure I'd outright
if you have IR spots, he's got an IR spot. I think I could hold Carter just because the Jets may not bring him back though. So
yeah, it's tough, but the running back position is so thin, man. If they do bring him back, I don't know.
That's true.
Have a good night, Vicious. Appreciate you hanging out with us. He said, I hate fantasy so much, but once it's Sunday morning, my phone's open every other 3 minutes on the app, man. You already know how it is, bro.
You know how it is. It's sickness. It's a sickness.
All right, couple more for tonight, and then we and Clay are out, man. The lineup is now Dak, Zeke, Fournette, Chase, McLaurin, Andrew, Saquon, Henderson. Let's go.
That's a nice lineup.
That's a tough lineup, bro.
If Henderson plays, man, I feel like
he don't
that's
even
a
need
lot.
it. We got Zeke, Fournette, and Saquon.
That's true. That's
Bro,
facts.
that's heavy hitters.
Facts.
You need
And
Chase to step back up for the receivers.
Chase and McLaurin. That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
First waiver is Gage or Gallop. Oh shit, that's a good one, bro. I probably would
I
Gallop.
would go with Gage, man. We
You
just
go
talked
Gage?
about it. You just talked about it. You know he's going to get the guaranteed targets. Atlanta's always down. I'm going to go with
But
the guy who's going to get the targets.
I think for the pickup, so first waiver, if you're having to use a pickup, it's tough because I don't know if I fully trust Russell Gage for the rest of the season. I don't know if I would use if Russell Gage played bad this week. I'm never starting him again. Michael Gallop, if I don't play him this week and if something happens to Amari Cooper, I got a locked in probably wide receiver 3. So I'm probably taking long term Michael Gallop for this week specifically. I would start Russell Gage if that makes sense.
That makes sense, but I just think that Russell Gage's his opportunity is locked in, like especially with no Ridley, and Pitts isn't the guy that maybe we all thought he would be at this point. And so to me, I feel like if you have a Gage, if you can get a Gage and they're usually down, I like that they're going to throw. They're going to throw the ball.
I ain't mad at that at all, man. I ain't mad at that at all. For the Saquon D-Hop question, you got Cook, Madison, Javonte, Jacobs, Sanders, Saquon. You're loaded at running back. That's why. Hey, if I were you, I would try to pair up some of the other options. Give him like Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders for D-Hop. See if he'll do something like that. That way you can consolidate. You still have Saquon, Zeke, Javonte, and then Dalvin Cook and Madison, bro. You don't really need Josh. Yeah. You will never start Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders. So pair those two together and try to get D-Hop. Maybe throw another receiver his way or something, but try to get, instead of giving him Saquon.
Even a Madison, a Madison where a guy will, like, if Cook comes back, then he's still a guy. Like, hey, I'll give you Madison and Cook and Jacobs for somebody. I don't know. Just try and consolidate.
He said, I got sold by Kelsey now. No playoffs for me, bro. I got sold by Kelsey too, man. That was tough watching Tyreek Hill and Kelsey go for less than 10 points, man. Like, that was tough, man. But guess what? I'm still in the Gods League. I'm number 3. And Clay, you on your way out, Brody. You on your way out, man. I was watching.
I'm not.
I was watching. I was hoping you were winning when I was gone, bro. When I was gone in Hawaii, man. I was hoping, but hey, it is what it is. What it is.
Hey, when you lose by less than a point, man, you just really can't be mad. You just gotta truck on. You gotta keep going.
I thought I was going to have some luck last night. On Monday night. No luck at all, bro.
We power up. But before we go, I just wanted to shout out Justin Henry. He just had a birthday. This dude is 22 years old. He's 22. Hey, you guys go give him some love. Shout out on the page.
Yes, sir.
Let him know that he's respected. People love him on this page. He's giving out this advice to win you that money.
Yes, sir. And for the longest time, I didn't tell nobody my secrets. So y'all getting the blueprint to success because I've had a lot of success beating these guys. Don't let them fool you. Don't let
That hurts.
Nah, but for real, man, appreciate that, Clay, man. And we're just trying to help you guys. Make sure you guys tune into us. We'll be back on Sunday to help you guys to start sit. So make sure you're following along on the Twitch, on the YouTube. Clay and I are done for the evening. That does it for this episode of the Gods Cast. Peace.